Hi, I'm Tinny from minibulldesign, and I finished working out in the factory this morning. I built 13 M2 bases, and now I've come in, taken a shower, washed all the cutting oil off of me, and put on some clean clothes. And I thought this afternoon, Sue and Beth are going to go down and wander through the antique store. I've come out here on the back deck, and I'm going to cook up some dinner from the emergency bucket, just because I enjoy working with that stuff so much. And what I'm going to cook first is some vegetarian meat substitute, and then I'm going to cook up some rice, and finally I'm going to use some onion gravy to go over the top of it. So let me move the camera in here so you can see what I'm up to. Okay. We need 2 quarter cup servings in a cup of water, and that's what the stuff looks like. And I really like this TVP. It's got a good flavor to it. It's got a good texture to it. I'm impressed by it. So there's not that much left in this bag. I think I'll save it. Maybe put it in a little something just to add some body to it. Okay, we'll let that set until it comes to a boil, and then we've got to cook that for 20 minutes. So, I'm going to, once that's cooked, or pretty much cooked, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll do the rice, and then we'll do the gravy. The rice I simply have to boil water, and the gravy is not a lot more complicated than that, so should have a meal here in about a half an hour if things work out right. I'm using my M2 SB without the donut wick on it, and my SS remote's back there in the corner quietly doing its job. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not out doing something outside like kayaking or biking or something, according to our thermometer, which is probably not super accurate but pretty close, it's just a little over 100 degrees right now, 45% humidity. So, and I'm wearing black, so I think I'm going to stay here in the shade and cook. And then this evening when it cools down, if the wind stays down, I'll probably go kayaking. That's what I'm thinking of doing. Maybe around 5 o'clock. So, until then, I'm in the shade. And the TVP is started to boil, and it immediately starts to swell up and look like roast beef. Cool beans. The TVP is up to speed and boiling. It's been about 10 minutes. Take a quick look at that. And I've got a Walmart plastic spoon here I'm using to stir it. I don't like using metal utensils with aluminum. It's too hard on the aluminum. I always use plastic, and that works well for me. And I eat with plastic. I don't use any metal utensils unless I'm eating at the table with a meal with a family, which doesn't happen that often. I'm usually out here goofing off. TVP is looking good, and I've got 4 servings of rice here. Remember last time, if you followed me, when I did the 2 TVP, I made 2 servings of rice, and I didn't have anywhere near enough rice. So this time I'm going with 4. And this stuff doesn't double up like regular rice nearly so much. It's maybe half again. So I'm going to end up with maybe a cup and a half, which is probably about right. Now I wanted to address a little thing with the remote that might, something that happened to me, and it might help you out. The other day I fired up, flipped my remote, fueled up my stove and fired up my stove, and it burned a little while and went out. And I wasn't absolutely sure why. Well, the reason why was the hose got flipped up higher than the stove, like this, laying against something, or just flipped on itself. And when it does that, that stops the fuel flow. The hose can be as low as you want below the stove, but it can't be above it. And it was. So once I discovered that and laid the hose down, everything went right back to working. But it's just something to think about. Something to think about when you're using the remote is don't get the hose higher than the stove. So, we're close to rice.